Hey guys, it's here! It's finally here! Hey, what is going on everyone? It is me, Mr. Martin. Yes, this is my new card that I'm going to be installing in my computer. I'm going to go ahead, open this up, talk about why I'm doing it, but I'm not doing a, formal unboxing, just due to the fact that, this card, it's not brand new, but it's not old. There's plenty of unboxings and information about it on YouTube already as is, so I'm just going to be showing you all really, the install and why I'm doing this. So right now, I currently have an XFX R7850, which is a Radeon HD 7850 card, and in this computer, I originally got it with a GTX 460. The 460, it was used by at least 2 other people, and it started giving me issues. Like, it was a solid card, but the thing would start artifacting, and this thing is not opening. But the thing would start artifacting and whatnot like crazy, to the point where I needed a new card. And at the time I got the card that's in here, I got that like, I don't know, I want to say late 2012. And I bought it because it was on sale for about $200. There was no other GTX card in my price range. That was about my cap for a card that I wanted. And I wasn't making as much at the time, so, got a few promotions at work, increased my living conditions, things like that, well, like, bettered my living conditions, all that good stuff, and that's really helped out. So, let's see, do not return to store, okay, direct customer service, cool. Anyways, let's check this out here. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, anyways, as I was saying, pretty much what happened was, now, I have better jobs and everything, after a few promotions and whatnot, and, everything's just going a bit better. But recently, I kind of learned the hard way. I was really going to wait and get a new card until I built a new computer, which would have been, like, I'm planning on building a new computer, like, after I graduate. But this Radeon, it's gone to the point where I'm not taking it right now. So I just decided to go ahead and upgrade, and oh man, this thing is beautiful. Look at this. Alright, let's move this out of the way. So here it is, and I just kind of threw that on the side. There it is right there. The GTX 760. Now, for the card itself, let's see, I got a GTX 760. I wanted to get a 770, but the thing is, I would have to upgrade my power supply. I only have a 550 watt power supply, and I could do it, I just really don't want to. So I'd rather just do one upgrade for this, and I didn't have to upgrade the power supply to install it or anything, which is nice, because this requires at least about a 500 watt power supply is what it recommends. I got the EVGA brand ACX version, which comes with 2 different fans on here, and it's superclocked, so it is at least a 100 megahertz speed increase compared to the regular 760. It has 2 gigabytes of onboard memory as well, and the reason why I went with the ACX as opposed to a reference cards, in case you don't know, are you don't have any like fans here or anything. There's just one little fan on the side, and most of it is closed up, and it's not as open as this. It's not as open and free. I did a kind of a crash course of ACX versus reference, and I've been told that apparently if you have a case with bad airflow, get a reference card. If you have a case with good airflow, get an ACX card, and this case has excellent airflow. It's from Cooler Master of all people, so I went with the ACX. And this was only like $250, I want to say. So honestly, for an upgrade, I think that's great, and I'll explain what issues I've been having with the Radeon. Alright, now we're going to do the actual install before I get into that. So, I got my card right here. My computer is turned off. I'm going to go ahead, unplug it, and this is how easy it is to swap cards, you guys, in case anyone on here has never done it, or they are afraid of messing with their computer. So, there's 2 screws, because this takes up, 2 big slots on here, so I'm just pulling out these 2 screws that hold the card itself in. Alright, now that we have the 2 screws, I can just put them to the side. Right at the bottom here, there is a little part that I can just pull up a little, and bam! That is my old card, well, my now old card. And, this card is actually handled very well for what it is, but I'm at the point now, it's like, for what I'm doing, if I was only playing games, especially playing games on one monitor, it'd be nice, but, man, it's not cutting it anymore for what I'm doing. So to fix up my Radeon issues, we're going to go ahead and get rid of the Radeon. So out with the old, in with the new. Alright, and just from a glance, it does look like this card is a lot bigger than the other one, but you know what? I have enough space in here to handle it. So, if you are installing a card, first off, we're going to go ahead, grab our 2 power ports that I have right here so they don't get stuck in there. But I'm just going to go ahead, line this up, push down. Once it's kind of firmly in place and whatnot, you can detect with that. Give it a few good pushes, and we're going to go ahead and screw this back in. Alright, now that we got the card actually screwed in and all that, we just need to plug this in, and from what I can notice, this card already is going to be beefier than my other card due to the fact that, check this out, on the back right here of this card, I only had a 6-pin adapter that I had to plug in. I'm going to put this to the side. This one here requires a 6 and an 8. I'm assuming you could change up the 8, so I'm guessing that part is a bit optional. But we can go ahead and change this up. So we got the 6 in there. We're going to go ahead and throw in the 8, which this could be a 6, but it could also be an 8 at the same time. But once this goes in, we should be good to go. Alright, so we now have everything in here. We have both power ports plugged in, we have it screwed in, and we have it fit snugly into the motherboard. All I really need to do is hook up my computer again and install the drivers, and we should be good to go. But after we've done the install here, as I can show you all, I want to explain, before I show anything else, why I did this upgrade. So I originally had GTX 460, as I said, handled quite well, but the thing was dying. I went with the Radeon because it was cheaper. And people had said, you know, don't do AMD, do Intel, not Intel, do NVIDIA. And honestly, I wanted to give AMD a shot. And I've given them more than a fair shot. And I can say for what I'm doing personally, the Radeon 7850 was not cutting it. First off, horrible multi-monitor support. I have 2 monitors hooked up to my graphics card, and I noticed this mainly in BioShock Infinite. That was the first game I noticed. The game was just not handling properly when it came to frames per second. It was not handling very well at all, and the only way I could really fix it was by disabling my second monitor. And actually, I mean, if you want to, you could have your main monitor hooked up to the graphics card and the other one hooked up to the onboard video card on your motherboard. The thing is, though, it's like, if I have a graphics card, I kind of want to use it to the full extent, and also my BIOS was a bit wonky. So I said, you know what, cool, I'll handle that. Next up, when it comes to drivers, I will say that NVIDIA definitely has it down. At work, I don't game there at all, but I do have like a GT 610 in there, and I can see what happens in the firmware updates and such, and the driver updates, and man, they are ahead of it. They really are. Unless you're using like, you know, beta Radeon drivers, which I don't use, I just use the stable ones, but even just looking at stables, they are so much better on the NVIDIA side compared to this. Another thing that was really annoying me was Mirror's Edge, one of my favorite games. That game is 5 years old, and this card that I bought in 2012 for $200 cannot handle it properly. I tried changing things here and there. I tried changing settings in the game itself. I played on one monitor, and whenever there is at least one bullet on screen, if I'm getting shot at in-game, my frames per second drops from 60 to about 15. And the more bullets are on screen, well then at that point I'm just playing the game in slow motion, and it's terrible, you all. Like, that's what annoyed me, and I almost upgraded when that happened, but I said, you know what, no, I think I'm going to tough it out. If it's just one game, that's fine. Recently, though, I will say what pushed me to go from the Radeon to the NVIDIA card right there was now I am trying to record some more gameplay on my PC because I am playing a bit more on PC now. Now, here's the thing. I used to use Fraps, and I recently used DX Story, and they record in uncompressed. Now, Fraps is okay for a while, but for gaming, for example, I have a 1TB hard drive on here, and I have it mostly filled most of the time. The problem is with DX Story, I was using that. It's a lot less taxing on the CPU and just your system overall, but one game of Titanfall was about 40 gigabytes of video, and the game itself, the Titanfall install itself, was 50 gigs. So that was not practical at all. And I looked into it, and now I can actually record in X264 using DX Story, and the quality is excellent, and the file size is so much smaller. I'm talking like one game of Titanfall would be about 1 gigabyte, which is fine. The only thing is, With this card, again, I tried changing the settings and all. I even downgraded the Titanfall settings to, you know, display at low settings and whatnot. But if I am recording, because what happens is I play the game at 60, and then I'm recording at X264 at 30 frames a second. If I am recording at 720p, it plays fine. But that's 720p, and I don't want to show that. I don't want to use that video. I don't want to show that on my channel either, you know? The game looks great, and I like providing, you know, 1080p content, and that's what I've gotten used to. And when you edit it, it's really noticeable when you're editing it on the cutting room floor. With 1080p, though, I could not do it. The frame rate was everywhere, and it was just not cutting it. And my CPU is fine. My CPU is actually a liquid-cooled i5 2500K, and it is overclocked to 4 gigahertz right now. The thing is, though, the video card was kind of the bottleneck on that, just due to the fact that I went from, you know, uncompressed video, it takes up a lot of space, but it's not that hard to record. While I was recording in X264, it doesn't take up much space, but the entire time it is actively rendering it. So it's not like it records a video and then renders it. No. The entire time I am playing a game, I am recording footage, and I am compressing that footage down to X264 all at the same time. And the CPU is fine for that, I know that for sure, but this card right here, just not cutting it. So when that happened, I ended up ordering this card here, and you know, I'm about to hook it up. We're gonna see what happens, and I really hope it was worth the money.
No, there ain't no stopping us. Fly without boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to bronze.
I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast, didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't shining like it's neon, rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then amateurs have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then amateurs have to leave. Yeah, shoot, yeah, shoot, yeah,